first of all, I'm recording, but this is the pre-show, so don't worry. So you can do whatever you want to do now. I'm going to fix my tickle.
Oh my God, have I missed you?
How are
you? Oh, great. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Wow, I miss you.
It's been so long.
You're so part of my, like, the part of my life that it brings me such joy, and I feel like seeing you just clicks with me. Like, where am I,
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. That is so cool.
Wow, so nice.
Okay, awesome. Right. So where are we? Set the stage. Okay, so we're just talking in our houses. We're just having a chat. So. Just having a chat. Okay. And what is the stage? What time of are we in the Middle Ages? Are we where are we? Are we in the early, the 1900s, early 1900s? We're in 2020.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Maybe we ran out of age.
Actually, 2021.
Yeah, that's right, 2021. Anyway, so first of all, good evening, everyone. And I have a wonderful friend and special guest here this evening, the lovely Rhonda Lloyd, who, like Rhonda, you just make everyone happy all the time, too.
Wow.
And before we got started here, you were telling me that you associate me with happier times or happy activity because we're in the theaters together and we perform together. So I love that. I love that thought because it is true. You do have certain people that you just automatically associate with, like if you're part of a sport or a team or some, that you.
Ninoska, I see you and I want sushi. Okay. I'm not kidding. We have our rehearsals when we get really into it. It's like we're talking about the few weeks before.
Yeah.
We get that.
I know. That would be.
I'm sure you want a Coke. And
but the story of the order history, like inevitably my Coke never arrived. That was like the shtick. Like the Coke just never.
Inevitably, I pay 90 shekel for my sushi. So somehow, you pay out the money and never get it.
Never get it. It's the worst. The worst. Yeah. Well, I've got my Coke. So
we'll continue. You're talking to me.
I know. I love that. So
and we've got, the last time I saw you, I mean, it just ended so abruptly. Literally. Yeah. We got the news about that our show is going to be put on hold in the middle of an intense rehearsal 2 weeks before curtains up.
We were 2 weeks out from putting on a full production.
Yeah, and in the middle of rehearsal, like literally, we're watching the news and the director, she gets
like, that's it. We're like, that's it. We're done. It's
drop mic.
And anyone who's put on a full stage production knows that 2 weeks out from your show is crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
My palms were getting sweaty just thinking about it. I you get those jitters. Yeah. Oh man.
And it was good. It was good.
It was good.
You guys were great. It was like, ooh, this is gonna be great. As it goes on stage. And then it was like, bye-bye, birdie, to everything. So
we joined the club of all of these, performance-based people, theater-based, anybody in entertainment or whatever, that's dealing with crowds, just poof.
Yeah. Well, please God, we're now hopefully about to start turning the corner, and
I got my first vaccine.
Yay!
I'll be one of those. I don't know if you remember, I was the first one who brought that Corona into the rehearsrsal.
That's right.
I came back from a ski trip from Milan, of all places.
I know.
Yeah, and I was like, what are we gonna do about her?
Yeah, you were patient zero. You were patient zero. Like the CDC, we were calling the CDC, and you were like, oh, she came back from Italy.
We have to do the right thing.
No, it was crazy. It was just,
that was my first.
The fact that back then we couldn't even imagine what was happening. Like,
and you know, the show must go on. Like, isn't that for everything? The show must go on. No,
except now, no.
Not for everything.
Just one little thing, and it just brought everything to a complete halt.
Yeah, I'll be honest. You know, when I get every now and then, you're good about keeping in touch, and we all are. You know, all the actors, actresses, and performers. We, you know, every now and then I'll get a message on our WhatsApp group, and I'm like, is it time? I'm like, maybe you heard something I didn't.
Oh, you get excited. You're like, are they
I get excited.
Stage? Am I ready? About to put my costume back on?
Yeah, I got it in my trunk, Denoska. It has not left. It would be, you know, I'm trying to think, you know, good luck. Haven't taken it out.
Amen.
I also haven't looked at the script since, because so just give me a little heads up.
Well, yeah, you better check the news and have a heads up so you can start like learning those lines all over again, because it will practically be almost from scratch.
Yeah.
You know,
is
you will
performance is this the first performance that you haven't had a role?
No, for Stages I didn't have a role either, because I did the full producing. Tamara and I like did a little split. She produced, you know, with me for the and let me basically perform, and I did Our Town. And then for Stages, because we had 2 plays going on at the same time. And then Stages I did not perform, and you know,
that's the same reason I didn't perform in Stages with you.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
We were coming off of doing a show. I mean, they were literally rehearsing simultaneously at the same time. We had 2 rooms going, 1 room here, 1 room there, and it was crazy. And we had lead roles. It's not like we had like a little bitty role, so there was no bouncing back and forth for us on that.
The best times of my life.
Yeah.
You know, Scott, I think you should reconsider, though. Honestly, I think you should be like, it should be like a, you know, like what's his name, where, you know, in Blazing Saddles, like you know, you gotta put yourself in just a cameo, no matter what performance.
I know
that one that shows up. Like,
I know.
That little old lady walking across the stage or something.
Yeah, it was a little bit sad for me during the actual show that I wasn't in it. But honestly, I'm so busy that, you know, it was like almost like, oh, thank goodness, I don't have to put on makeup and go on stage. For me, the hardest thing about going on stage is putting on the makeup. I'm not kidding. I'm like, oh, I gotta do hair and makeup. Oh, that's always, I don't know why. It's just,
wow, that's so interesting. So for me, you all can see I don't even know how to. I do my little thing. So for me, it's so fun to get dressed. Like, it's so theatrical.
Yeah.
And you know, having my
having yourself done. So
you know, our last characters in the play involved like really transforming to you know,
the man
in Wizard of Oz, and
oh yeah, yours is, you're gonna have a lot of makeup on.
Whoa.
Yeah, you will have a lot of makeup on there. But anyway, we are going to look forward to it. It should happen, please God. Once the world, I don't think it's going to be normal again. I don't think we'll get back to where we were. But we'll get back to a point where, you know, we have theater and shows and things like that again. So hopefully we look forward to that. I look forward to that. Now, I want to find out a little bit more about Rhonda. Where did you grow up, Rhonda?
So I grew up in a small town in Maryland called Columbia, Maryland. It was an amazing place to grow up. Amazing. Very diverse place to grow up, which was a planned city in between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. And by this man, this visionary, his name is James Rouse. He developed the South Street Seaport Virginia Harbor, like very awesome, places of interest. But also he developed this city, which had it was broken up into centers. Like each community had a elementary school, middle school, high school, and then they had your community center.
Wow. Right, sort of like our neighborhoods.
Yeah, definitely. But you had then you had the mall, kind of like the neighborhood, the library, the ice rink, the roller rink.
Yeah.
What else? It was literally the mall. Like that's it. Like kind of like Modine.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? You're right, because Modine is like a flower, right? It's So it's basically the same kind of planned city, but we're talking, I think my dad found it, and he was also like a real visionary. And
wow.
My dad was very interested in bringing us to a place that raises children without, seeing color, race, anything.
Wow.
Religion. Even. It was a complete, you're human.
That's beautiful.
And it was an amazing place to grow up. And I'm still on this like Facebook group of, you knew you grew up in Colombia when ...
Yeah.
And everybody, just people my age, we were all looking back and
wow.
There was nothing like it. That's Columbia, Maryland. So what happened?
So cool.
How about, here I am, it's
wow.
Columbia.
So you went away, did you go away to school?
So
how did you leave?
Yeah, like there was a bridge there, and on that bridge, I always knew I was Jewish. I have grandparents who survived the Holocaust, and we knew we were Jewish. My mom actually was born in a DP camp, in a displaced person camp in Germany after the war. So like she literally is the first generation Holocaust. And so was my dad. He was born like, in Mongolia, like on the way, out. And so we grew up knowing we're Jewish, but again, we were just, I went to this interfaith center, that had Jewish services. And at some point, it was time for my brother's bar mitzvah, and my mom in Columbia, Maryland, found this religious boy who actually ended up marrying a girl, and they live in Ranana now, but that's flash forward. But she found a religious guy to teach him his bar mitzvah. He's 2 years younger. And then they started looking at me, looking at my brother to maybe get him out of public school and go into the yeshiva in Baltimore. Then they started looking at me, and eventually, there's NCSY, it's called, and a junior in high school. I was 16, and it stuck. I loved it. Amazing. I loved it. I think that's a really sensitive age. You start looking for meaning. I think it's a very common age for people to start looking for a little purpose in life, and I loved it, and I loved just being more in contact with my Judaism and religion.
Wow.
And then I went to Israel. For seminary. I went to Sharfman's, and that was really an intensive year. And then went to Stern when I went back. And
and then the rest is history.
And the history is colorful. It's fun. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, when did you make Aliyah? Did you make it individually or as a family?
No, so Yona and I, we got married. I met Yona actually I was a junior in high school, and at that first Shabbaton. I don't know if your listeners are familiar with Shlock Rock, or Rhonda Lloyd is the famous guitar player. So he was playing at that Shabbaton, my first Shabbaton, and I was a senior in high school, a junior in high school year. And he was that like cute guitar player, and I was like, oh, okay. But we had a Friday softball game, I'm a softball player. It's my passion.
We're going to get into that.
Yeah. And I was playing, in the outfield. Okay. We had 4 outfielders. So when you have 4 outfielders, you have one that plays a little bit closer, but you're still in the outfield. So Yona hits this ball. Okay. And he hits it to me.
Wow.
And I go and get it. And I threw the ball to first because he's like running. He's like, oh, okay, it's a girl. The girl got it. And he's running to base. And I threw the ball and I got him out at first base from the outfield.
Wow.
So it was like, yeah. And he's like,
he gave you a second look. He's like,
yeah. He's like, what?
What was that?
What was that? So anyway, just going through my senior year with, with NCSY, whatever, and he's still playing in the band. And I think we became, no, we didn't really know each other, but when I went to Israel, I met Yona. He came and his parents were living here already.
Oh, wow.
So his family, his sister, everybody was in Renana. And then we dated, we got married. And I think in our 6th year of marriage, we had 3 kids Rafi was 3. So we made Aliyah in 03. We were married in 91. We were 6 years in Riverdale.
Yeah.
6 years in Teaneck. And then in 03, we made Aliyah from Teaneck, New Jersey.
Wow.
To Hashmonaim. Came here.
Yeah. Oh, so you came straight to Hashmonaim.
Straight to Hashmonaim. Yeah. And I was in my first trimester of pregnancy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now tell me, because I know that you'll get into, we'll get to the softball later because I really want to hear a lot about it. But you mentioned you were pregnant, but tell me, when you came to Israel, did you come as a doula already?
No, I didn't. My career is fashion design, actually.
No way.
Yeah, girl.
How did I never know that?
I know. I'm the fashion no-no. Go figure.
No, not that. Like all these years, you probably didn't tell me because you knew I would like rope you into like helping me with the.
You know who knows?
Bella. Anita knows.
Anita knows. She knows because I got her Mac working. I got her design programs. I'm helping her. She's trying to tell me how to sew up my pants. I said, girl.
Yeah, this is how you do it. Wow.
So
that is amazing.
Yeah. That's what I was doing in Stern, actually. I did a shaped major with FIT, and I graduated with a bachelor's in arts, but I majored in fashion design, and I worked for 10 years in the industry. And then when I was pregnant with my 3rd one, I took a last trip on my fashion. We went to go check out I went to Paris in my 8th month with my son to go look at the new line and design the line. And that's it. And I knew in my head, I said, I'm done. I want to be a stay-at-home mom finally.
Yeah. Wow.
And I never looked back.
Well, did you enjoy the time that you were doing that?
Oh my God. Yeah. Working in New York City as a fashion designer.
I can only imagine.
Oh, it was great. And I do children's wear. So I had so much fun. I made some great relationships.
Amazing.
It was, some challenges. It was all amazing. I was going to say being a religious woman in the fashion industry, but you know what? I can't really say it was too challenging. It was great. Yeah. It's a very Jewish industry. In the children's wear, it's very Syrian, a lot of Syrian Jews. But yeah, they're solid. It was great.
Wow. Very interesting. I would never have known. You kept that under lock and key. Oh
yeah. In my field, I had to do a lot of graphic design with it also. Like I would design my own graphics, and I worked with some artists as well. And just it's my passion, and Noska, I love it. I love it. I love my hands being creative.
I actually, in my high school years, I actually would take a course. I took a course for a couple of years at FIT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Night classes.
No. It was on the weekends.
Oh, wow.
Loved
it.
It.
So cool.
Absolutely.
Because I was doing it as a joint program, I went to night classes. So we would start our classes at like 6. So I'm doing at Stern. It's a rigorous, anyway, you have your, all of your credits that you have to take. You have to take the Jewish studies, you have to take the secular studies, you have to, and then I had to go to night school to do the at FIT.
Yeah, you had a full, you were doing 2
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Yeah, me and my girlfriend used to walk along the streets. We had to go to Fashion Avenue, to go to 7th Avenue and downtown. And we would take turns walking through the city where we would hold each other and one of us would close our eyes just to like get a nap while we're walking. It was
it's like shame.
I gotta ask her if she remembers that. She's actually this woman lives in Hashmonaim now.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A friend of mine, my roommate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we both did FIT.
Wow. So you had this fashion background. How did you go from fashion to doula?
Oh, it's awesome. Okay, all of you guys making Aliyah, you know how hard it is to say goodbye to the family. So it was very, very hard. And I was really the backbone of my family, really the backbone. And I have family in Brooklyn, and my mom was very close to her living there. And just, they would always come to me on Sundays. They would always come to me every holiday. I was like their connection. And I'm leaving. It was really hard. And here I am pregnant. And I said to myself, when I got here, actually, I said, it was a realization that I needed to grab this pregnancy and take it for my own. The first few were classic American deliveries, classic American pregnancies, where I just kind of followed my friends. You go to the same, OB as they did, and you do the same. You labor starts, and you're like, you call the OB, and like, oh. One of them, my water broke. And he's like, okay, wait for contractions. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah.
Go to the hospital, get the epidural. For me personally, I didn't really take control of my births. I didn't feel they were my own. I showed up, he loosened his tie, and, it was medical, extremely medical. So I came here and I felt almost like it was like a rebirth. I needed to do this for myself and find how to have a satisfying birth that I wanted. And I did. And I found a doula, and I discovered that I don't need a doctor. I would like a midwife, and I would like the environment of the Israeli hospital. And I decided to go to Hadassah and Kerem with my doula, who was and herself a midwife, Polly, actually.
Yeah.
She was my doula. And what an experience. I was blown away. It was my first natural birth without an epidural, feeling it, everything, jumping out of bed afterwards when I was, finished, and holding this awake baby, just everything. She symbolized my, new life. Talia, she's 17 now.
Wow.
Next week, this week, Sunday. Yeah. And then Ariella came, and I got pregnant again 2 years later, and I had another one, and I upped my game, which is what I encourage my moms to do. Up your game. What do you want for this one? How do you want to make it even better? Even how are you going to make this one unique? And I did that for Ariella. I took a little bit, made it unique, upped my game, so to speak. And after having an amazing birth with Ariella, who's 12, I was looking to reinvent. I was looking for a new thing, a new passion, and I realized that birth was it.
Yeah. Well, it's a common theme here. It's a common theme with people making Aliyah, that we reinvent ourselves. sometimes because the circumstances force you to, because your degree or whatever it is, it doesn't count here, because you don't know the language, or you don't have the ins that you have before. But more often than not, I see a lot of people using this opportunity to pursue their passions. It makes you re-examine, like you say, like you just say, okay, I've made this humongous change in my life. I'm not sure that moving from the States to, like, say, England, or Ireland, or let's just say Canada, some other English speaking country, or just forget it, say you spoke the language in Europe, some European country, would make you really think the way that we think when we come here. It is just, it's so profoundly moving and life affirming, and there's so much that goes on with it, that everyone sort of kind of just says, okay, well, what do I want to get from this now personally, besides the Aliyah, and so many people make that change. So
I completely agree. And tell me if you agree with this. The environment here makes it very conducive to pursuing that passion.
Yes.
Right? You look around and you see people, when we moved in here, I'll never forget, people are, they have this really cool store in their house, this, and serving people. I've always found that to be so interesting. Here they are, you could do anything here. You could do anything. You can just,
anything you want to be. It's amazing. And I feel that I don't know how to say this. I want to say it delicately because I don't want to offend anyone in the States. But I just feel that the women in this country are so much more empowered and dynamic, and have taken control of their lives, their narrative. I don't know what it is. I mean, I knew lots of, I still have lots of friends in the States, and of course there are exceptions to the rule, but I don't know. So they take control, they're taking control of their lives. They're taking control of their narrative here, very much empowered, and so much more so than the women I know abroad. And I don't mean that as an insult to them. I just think that there's something here that forces us to do that. Like every woman here sort of kind of has a story, and the way that they're juggling their families. And I mean, everyone does it there in the States too, but I want to find the right words to express this feeling, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
100%. And I see it in my friends. And it's a little bit hard to report back home, how happy we are. It's hard. I felt guilty for many, many years, that I found a freedom here, and watching my kids have that same freedom, and, not freedom of everything, of the expectations of friends and the peer pressure, and just to, you with clothing, with everything.
Everything.
So I liked it, and to let down that, those expectations, which I anyway didn't really like. I loved living in Teaneck, but I found it to be a little bit much, and I felt so relieved when I made Aliyah. I'll be honest. And there it went, pursuing the passions. And in Oscar, one thing, I was nearing 40, and I think is a common theme as well, right? When we're sort of like, you're nearing that 40 and you're like, it's time
to make that change, So for those people who do not know exactly what a doula does, the role, can you just give us a brief overview of a doula? What's a doula?
Yeah, doula in Hebrew is called a tomechet leida, and it's a labor support person. And statistically, it is proven that a woman in labor, if she has another woman with experience right next to her,
Yeah.
You have a better chance of having a more satisfying birth. Mm-hmm. That's what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. So when a woman feels supported, you sure you have time for this? Because once I start, it could go on. I love talking about it. Anyway.
Well, that's, I mean, yeah, that we do. That's a brief. Once she feels supported, when
she feels supported, she stays in that place that will allow her birth to progress and to be, you know, and you know, an advocate in a hospital, or if she chooses a home birth in a hospital or home, to have somebody by your side. And that's not to eliminate the importance of her partner, because that is also very important.
Yeah, and that's a different type of responsibility. That's a different emotion.
Yeah. It's also, you know, there's a lot of hormones. Birth is hormones. It's all hormones, actually. It starts with the hormone. When the hormones come in, it'll start, and the hormones will keep it going. And then when the hormones get to be peak, all the hormones, the baby is coming. The baby's out. Yeah. But the partner gives these hormones, the love hormones that, you know, the same ones that brought the baby in is going to bring the baby out. Mm-hmm. So those hormones are what only the partner can give. Mm-hmm. Whereas I will provide that support and comfort and secure, you know, to feel secure. That's what I do. And I intuitively, you know, some people ask me, you know, it's part of the intake, you know, the interview, you know, what do you do? So do you do massage? Do you do this? So I say it comes, you know, intuitively. I'll feel you. We'll have a relationship. We'll develop a relationship, and I'll give you what you need, you know, to, you know, if I feel that you need to be, you know, helped in whatever way, and vice versa, you will tell me what you need. And that's what a doula is. And there's a lot of experience that I have. I've been doing this for like 10 years. So, and every single birth is different. Yeah. Everyone. And I'm still learning. Wow. I'm still learning. I take with every birth.
Well, that brings me to my question, because I have a couple of questions here that I wanted to ask you without any names.
Okay.
There are two questions. First one is, what was your most memorable birth? And the second question is, what was your favorite delivery? You don't have to say names.
I have a memorable birth.
Okay.
And I have a bad memory, so the name is not even coming, so don't worry. Okay, this memorable birth, this mama, okay, she's a gymnastics instructor.
Yeah.
Okay, and first baby, and this baby's upside down. It's a breech baby. Okay, now this mom is not going to really want a C-section because, you know, she doesn't want to
cut the muscles
and you know, do any of that. And she reached out to me and she said, I really don't want. I said, great, you're not going to have one. We're going to find a hospital that's going to deliver a breech baby normally. And Biker Cholim they will do that. And they've partnered with Shaarei Tzedek, and they have amazing doctors. Okay. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. You know, you don't even need to make an appointment. You don't even need to reserve a doctor. You don't need to shell out all that money. Just show up. Mm-hmm. They got you. And, you know, it's like, I took that responsibility, you know, I'm like, at the same time, I'm praying, you know, that this is really going to happen, of course. And sure enough, she shows up, and she brings, you know, and she's like, I'm in active labor, and it's a breech baby. And they're like, okay, great. You know, let's go check you out. Let's do a monitor. Totally even.
Yeah.
Remarkable. She pulls out of her bag, you you guys know what the TRX is? You know, that it's like those ritsuot, you know, those that you hold on to, that you click onto. She strapped. It's these straps, and she put it over the pole over there, and she starts pulling and doing these, like, you know, yeah. And that's helping her during the contraction. She's like bearing down and doing this tension. Wow. I'm like, this is incredible. Wow. So when you get an athlete who understands, you know, that this is her tournament. Okay, it's game time.
Wow.
And he has that athletic head.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, it was amazing.
Wow.
And a great breech delivery. Baby was healthy. It was.
Oh, Hashem.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a favorite one? Does a favorite one come to mind?
You know, every time, my favorite births are the ones where the moms are really, really scared. And again, you know, where they're so frightened and really, and there's the type of moms, the ones that are scared are the ones that are more used to being in control. And that's their biggest fear, because they know that it's a, you know, the total lack of control.
And that makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah. And I love it when I'm thinking of a birth that I had recently.
Yeah.
When they're super, you know, they're super chatty during the meetings and they're asking tons of questions, trying to relieve this anxiety by having the control of answers, having the answers. And I'm like, okay, I have such a feeling that they're going to be fine. And then when we get to the birth and they're amazing, that's my favorite birth every time. It's such a challenge when I get, like, my next birth coming up, the mom is, we just had a long meeting and I broke her by saying, just, you could trust me, you know, I've got your back, and you trust yourself, trust us, and we're going to be a good team, and you've got this. And she's like, okay. And the question stopped, and I'm like looking forward to that birth. Those are my favorite, Ninoska.
Oh, that's so
sweet.
That's
my favorite.
That is true.
I have one more. Oh, I forgot about her. Oh my gosh, amazing. Okay, in the middle of the birth, well, or towards the end, her husband's parents come in. They arrive from America. And I knew that they were coming, and they come directly from America, from the airport to the hospital.
Yeah.
The mom decides to bring, I've never heard of this. Tell me if you heard of this. It's Kabbalistic thing to bring. She brought like this laser, and she starts lasering the room, getting rid of the Ein Haras in the room or something. She has this laser, and she's like lasering around the room, lasering on the mom, like on parts of her that, you know, okay, I'm pointing here. Okay? And she's lasering. She's like, wait, just stay still. And this is the daughter-in-law. And we're,
oh my God. This poor first of all, this poor lady who's like in the room giving birth, having to deal with that.
Yeah. And the poor son, and he's looking at me, he's like, thanks, Ma. You know, he's looking at the mom. He's like, yes. And they were so not into this stuff. That was a memorable one.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah. Being a doula is fun.
Okay. No, I've never heard of that.
No. She took out some herbs like in a little bottle, and she just had to wave it. You know, she didn't even open the bottle. She's like, She was getting it on us.
Oh my gosh.
It's so crazy. That's the one good thing in my field that Corona has given me, is that, like, there are limits, you know?
So it's just the partner and the partner, the birth, and then the doula. That's it. So if the person didn't have a doula, they were allowed to like bring another person in.
Yeah, like a mom is pretty common, you know. Yeah. Sometimes I do like a childbirth education or just a course, or sometimes I'll be like the mom's mom's doula. Like I'll debrief them about what to expect as well, because the mom is going. Yeah, that's very common.
Well, and it's also, I actually spoke with Polly not too long ago. Her interview hasn't aired yet, but I did interview her. And one of the things that I found so beautiful here is that the deliveries are done primarily by midwives here in Israel. And the doctor comes in just like at the very end, or, you know, if there's a problem.
The doctor does have to come in. Midday Pam, it's like I'm sure there's a time. Yeah. But they have to actually stamp. They put a stamp on the monitor. They sign off there, and they're constantly watching in the Dalpak with the monitors, and they're overseers. The midwives work for the doctor. Yeah. There's a head midwife, and then there's a doctor. But they rarely come in. They come in.
They're the ones that really are there with the women and
yes, and I have such respect for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Incredible experience. I love it.
with my oldest, her nurse, this was in the States, the RN, the labor and delivery nurse. I don't know, she must not have been a midwife because she was like there on the floor. But honestly, I said her name was Bonnie Lake. I said if she had a name, I remember her name to this day.
It's a great name.
And I said, if she had any type of name that I could have made Jewish in any way, shape, or form, you would have been called some variation.
Wow.
That woman was just so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. And to this day, I remember her. But anyway.
You remember her. And Ninoska, what's very interesting is you talk to a 99-year-old woman and she will remember her births.
Yes.
Actually, a 99-year-old man will remember the birth as well sometimes. You know, it's amazing, which is why, you know, it's so important that the experience is a satisfying one, because it could go the opposite. It could be pretty, I hate to say, but traumatizing.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times I'll come in as a doula, and we got to do a lot of work to talk about the previous birth.
Wow, and
most of the time, actually.
Amazing.
So,
well, that leads me to my next set of questions for you. How did you get into the softball? I mean, you said that you played it in high school, so
I threw out my husband and at 16 years old at first base. But I've been playing softball since I was about I'll tell you, I started in 9th grade high school. I started playing competitive softball. I went to a public high school, and we had, you know, just like an all-American, you know, high school musical. Or my daughter says, was it like Glee? Like, is that how it was? And I'm like, yeah, honey. Yep. We had our Glee club also.
Yep.
So, I started playing, you know, in Colombia, it's great. They also have, you know, Chogim as we have here, but it's really, you know, organized. You have all the communities, you know, and you play, it's really organized. So I've been playing softball since about 12 years old.
Wow.
I love it. Matter of fact, I hate exercising without a ball. Like I tried swimming, I tried dancing, I tried Zumba, I tried, you know, except skiing. I do a lot of skiing, but I usually need a ball. I love it. And it's just, I found my sport. I feel really lucky. Really lucky. So playing throughout high school, and at about 16, people who've been to public school, and if you're an athlete with some talent, you know that you're going to try to play in college. And at the same time, as I was trying to make a video actually of myself to be shown to recruiters to be able to play softball in college. But at the same time, I'm taking this religious path, and that's it. My senior year sort of took a whole different turn. And I left it all behind, and I went to Israel. And matter of fact, like, some people are just coming back out of the woodwork. They're like, Rhonda Eisenband, like, whatever happened to her? I'm like, yeah, man, I like moved to Israel. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, so I sort of left the past behind, but I always kept a passion for that. And of course, in Stern, we don't have a softball team, but after I got married, I was playing on a guys team in Riverdale, a pickup team. And then also in Teaneck, we found a women's team. But guess when the softball got good? Guess. Baby. Yes. In Israel, because if you're good at your sport, you have an opportunity to play internationally and wear the Israel uniform, represent. It's a mind-blowing experience seeing the Israeli flag flying.
That must blow your mind. You went to Italy. Was it Italy that you went?
Italy, Holland, Croatia, Bulgaria, Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, and the World Championships in Canada, there were 31 teams. Yeah. I played a team from Kenya.
Wow, that is so cool.
So cool. We went to a local sports store, and we bought them equipment. Like, she was using really like equipment. We brought her the catcher. We bought her a mask and a glove. It was mind blowing.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It was really
That's
cool.
like Kiddush Hashem right there. It really is. It's so beautiful. And if someone's watching this and they're like not religious, they don't understand how life-changing this whole thing is. The fact that you were able to be part of this sport and continue it because you live here now.
Yep.
You do not have the same opportunities living abroad as a Torah observant woman.
Nope. No way, because all of the tournaments are on the weekends, of course, and you know what religious woman can do it. No way.
And that's sort of the same thing for us here in theater, you know, like being able to have the platform that we have, to be able to do it here, whereas in the States it's very difficult.
Yeah. Yes, in Oscar, it's very much the same thing.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I got into coaching here. I came, there was no coach in Hashmonaim. I wanted my girls to play softball, and I started up a team, you know, and at one point we had like 22 girls. It was awesome.
Wow.
Actually, in Modi'in, it was very hard to break in. I'm not sure why so many Americans, but girls softball really never took off there. Some of the moms drove them to Hashmonaim, but anyway, these girls.
We should try again, because I think there's a whole, I don't know the last time you tried, but there's a whole different age of girls that are very athletic and very sporty, and it's sort of to change. There was a point in time where it was just very like ballet and art and craft. And
you're right. It might have taken a turn. You're right.
I think it has.
And also, I think the city was very young. I think they were very young girls and not really finding themselves. And you have to get older to be able to feel confident. And
of course,
sport,
I think there's a huge group of girls.
Point. It's a good point. Well, I'm definitely an advocate of girls playing competitive sports and getting dirty and tough, and also I'm a big advocate of trying to better yourself, especially here in Israel, because of the opportunity. And you know, we have a tournament this summer in Italy, again in Serrano, but it's 17 countries, it's 17 teams, and you have the Israeli flag flying there with it's awesome. It's great.
So beautiful.
It's ambassadorship.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Wow, that's
get out of the bubble.
Yeah. And your girls, are they softball players?
Yeah, they're on my team. Shira is, you know, Shira, she's in theater.
Yeah.
So Shira is a pitcher, very tall and throws great fast pitches.
Wow.
Aviva, my oldest, who has 2 kids, and still she's going to be hopefully playing this year. And she's an infielder. They're very athletic. My girls are, you know, my 2 oldest are, they play on my team.
Amazing.
And I have to share with you guys a really awesome experience. Remember I told you about that World Championships in Canada? Yeah. Okay. So 31 countries. Okay. Now one of the countries was the US. And they played Japan, a little detail. They played Japan in the championship game. Okay. US and Japan. It was very exciting. But guess who played US in one of the games? Israel.
Wow.
Yes. So Israel, you know, they break you up into categories, whatever. And in our column was US, and we played them. So here I am. Okay. Shira Lloyd, my daughter, is on the mound pitching. And guess who's catching? Her mom is catching her pitches. Okay. In Canada. And guess who we're playing? The US national team. It was mind blowing, Ninoska.
Wow.
It was like, literally, I think somebody interviewed us, you know, because the mother-daughter thing was awesome. But Israel, US, like, it just made it all worth it. It was great. So, yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you just a couple quick questions.
I put on the hat, Ninoska.
I love that hat so much. That
you
hat.
Know, I put it on because I don't know if you know that I'm a farmer. A chicken farmer.
What? Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that in one.
Animals. Yeah, so
I can see you. Like, what? What is she talking about? Chicken farming?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice having an opportunity. Usually we're so busy, when we're together.
Okay, so wait. So tell me about this. You're saying that you're a chicken farmer?
Yeah, so I put on my hat because it's I always have it on, and
I know you do.
Have it on with you. So I thought let me just we can end with a little fact that since I moved here, to Israel, I'm able to pursue another passion, which is the love of raising chickens and harvesting fresh eggs every day, and I love it.
Wow. Yeah. How many? First of all, my daughter Noah would be so interested in this because she actually wants to like have chickens herself.
Wow.
One day she's like so into it, and that's exactly her thing. And she's,
oh my God, please invite. I want to invite her over.
Oh my gosh, she'd be so excited.
Yeah. Tell her to please tell her to come. I'll give her all the information. Okay. It's very, very rewarding.
Because she says that the same thing, that it must be like so exciting to like get your own chicken, your own eggs, yeah. It's so healthy and so on and so forth, and all of that stuff. Oh my gosh, so I'm gonna tell her about it. We definitely tell her about it. She probably will. We probably will make a trip to come and visit. Now, how many eggs do you get a day from your chickens?
At some point I had a lot of chickens and I got a lot of eggs. I was giving them away to my neighbors. Everybody loved me. But the moitza, because this is a yishuv ironi, I had one woman, anonymous, she remains anonymous to today. She had a complaint against, because when chickens lay an egg, they go, bah, 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 they make it really like, they have to announce it.
Yeah, and then they all start talking. They
talk, they chatter, they're very chatty, and like all the typical whatever they say about chickens, hens. They're the mother hen, they'll be chatty if you start messing with their babies. They're very protective. Anyway, this woman complained, and the moitza came over to me and they said they made me limit it to much less. So I have 10, and I don't know if you guys know this, but chicken lays an egg a day.
So you get almost a dozen eggs a day.
However, if they're broody, if they're sitting on the eggs and they want to raise babies, if they want to have babies, they don't lay. If they're raising chicks, they don't lay. If they're molting and changing their feathers, they don't lay. So you know what? They're not so reliable, not completely reliable. they have their moments.
Their moments. Okay. All right. So anyway.
I get about 4 a day, 5 a day. It's great.
Wow. It's pretty good still. I mean, that, it's enough to bake a batch of challah, a plus.
Yeah.
A couple cakes and cookies. I mean, I use 3 eggs in my challah. I'm like 3 eggs.
I'm known to ration my children, though. I say, okay, guys, it's winter. We have 1 egg each a day. I'm sorry. Yeah. No double omelets. Come on.
I mean, but you can actually go to the store and buy a dozen eggs, or is it like shameful for you at this point?
No, only free range.
Only free range.
Yeah. Only.
All right.
That's the thing about raising animals. You start to get a little bit more sensitive to it.
Yeah, exactly.
If I raised a cow, it would be
exactly different. Yeah. So that's like my Noah. So she's during the week. She's very conscious of what she eats in terms of like animal products and stuff. She's trying. So like during the week, she's like a little bit of she's a vegetarian. She calls herself a vegetarian, a weekitarian or something like that. Like during the week. And so she'll eat eggs and stuff like that. But that's why she wants to have her own chickens. So
especially ones that she raises, of course.
Then she'll know that they're treated.
She'll know where they're coming from.
Exactly. That's her rationale for it.
You also got to encourage her to come visit.
I will. I absolutely will encourage her to come and visit. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you a question real quickly. Do you pre-wash your dishes before you put them in a dishwasher?
Yes.
Okay. Where's the first place that you will travel post-corona, like vacation-wise or fun place that you think you want to travel to?
Okay, great question. I want to travel to go to the mountains and go skiing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that post-corona is coming February 7th. I have a ticket. I'll be quite honest. I'm hoping that's post-corona. So
I'm hoping for you too, because your good news will be our good news. So I'm gonna keep wishing for you too.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to Utah. I have Utah and Wyoming. We have tickets to go skiing there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So cool. Well, you definitely have to take that hat with you. I mean, but it's going to be skiing. But when you're not up on the mountain and you're down,
well, whoever's taking care of the farm in Osco while I'm gone has to wear it.
Has to wear the hat. There you go. Okay. So now, if you could spend a day with any person in history, past or present, who would it be? It doesn't have to be a famous person, and it also doesn't have to be a real person. It could be a character from like a story or book or whatever. So any person.
Wow. I'll tell you. I think I'm going to say that I would like to be my grandmother. So sweet. Unfortunately, it would mean seeing a lot of terrible, terrible, terrible things. But
no, you're taking her and you're bringing her to some place. Not going to spend a day in her place.
Oh, no. Well, I wanted to be her at 16 while she was, in Poland. And
okay, so you'll take her out of there and that's where you'll meet.
Yeah, I want to meet there and just be able to
talk to her and share her experience, understand.
Yeah, I grew up in America and very privileged and never, this is the first real challenge we've had, this pandemic. I'm sure you might be able to, we were privileged and this pandemic is like basically the first experience of anything, challenging in our lives. And just to be, if I understood the question correctly, I would want to meet her back in Poland and to be able to just spend some time with her and really feel what she went through.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Beach or library?
Oh, beach. Yeah, I can't stay quiet that long in Noska. Oh my God.
Library. Okay. How do you think you're going to come out of this whole experience? Will you come out of it afterwards? How will it have changed you? And I'd like to think, how would it have changed you for the better? What positive will Rhonda have gained from this? Your little silver lining, the Corona silver lining.
My Corona silver lining. Wow. We're doing this so long, and that's the first time I've been asked that question. What a great question. What a great question.
Thank you.
I am going to appreciate, I do it now. I appreciate the air. Mm-hmm. I appreciate when I'm breathing outside. How weird is that? Just when I'm outside and feeling the air, totally sort of a connection, but when I'm outside, I cover my hair when I'm outside.
Yeah.
And sometimes, when you go outside and I don't have my hair covered.
You forget and you're like,
the breeze.
Yeah.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
But so it's sort of the same thing, I'm going to have an appreciation for the breath that goes into my lungs. That's free breath.
Yeah. Great answer. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite room in your house?
Oh, yeah. Okay. My favorite room in my house has got to be my kitchen. I love it. I built a nice, big kitchen. It's my weekday zone.
It's your happy place.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love coffee, of course.
So that answered the other question. What's your favorite hot drink? So coffee.
Yeah, coffee, hands down.
You know, it's hard for me to understand. There's some people who just really don't get coffee. I'm like,
yeah, and I find that I can be friends with them. I really can. Like, we can get beyond that.
I think it's because you and I are better people.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we can get along with them, because really, you don't like coffee? You don't get it?
I love coffee. I take after my dad that way. My dad used to like eat coffee beans. He used to chew them.
I love coffee. I started drinking coffee when I was a little kid. Like we drink coffee when we're like 6 years old. Cafe au lait.
What kind of coffee? Like a shot? Like a Nespresso?
No, it's cafe au lait. So the milk was like steamed, was heated on the stove and like bubbled up, and then with strong, espresso that was like brewed in that little silver thing. So you'd have that strong coffee and a lot of steamed milk with it, sugar.
Have it now? Do you make it sort of like that now?
Oh, you know what? I stopped drinking milk a long time.
Okay.
I tried doing it with soy milk. I will go to a friend that makes my coffee for me, because I get terrible migraines, and I found that once I cut out dairy, it really helped me.
Yeah.
That's me personally. So I try to stay away from it. It just doesn't do well with me.
Yeah.
And but I've
been buying this oat milk. It's called Oatly.
Yeah.
And or the other one, it's they have a barista version.
Yeah. So we do. Yeah, we have the barista. So maybe I'll try the oat one too. But we get the soya and the almond milk in the house, and so I do it with that. But usually during the day, I drink my coffee black. I've just gotten so used to just drinking black coffee. Absolutely love it. But it's got sugar in it, so I'm not a martyr. It's all
right. That's where I draw the line, babe. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's right. It's got to have sugar in it. So I say, no, you're not a sugar girl.
So is that the next question? Sugar, no sugar?
No. But that's a good one. I'm going to start asking that. Sugar or no sugar? I like that.
Yeah.
I'm making a note.
Yeah.
So I love it with sugar, unfortunately. What is your favorite season or like weather?
I love winter.
Winter, me too.
I love it. I love the rain, and I love thunder, and I love lightning.
I miss snow.
I love snow.
I love when it's a cold day and you come inside. And I mean, I made Aliyah from New England, and fireplaces, we had real fireplaces, and I miss that so much.
That smell, right?
Oh my God.
Oh man, that wood, you can smell it from outside as you're coming up the steps.
There's nothing in the world like it. And there's someplace in like some vicinity that must have a wood burning stove. I don't know where they are, but once I will smell it. I will walk outside. And I'm like,
yes. It takes you right back.
Takes me back.
I like my winter clothes.
Yes.
I like having like cozy sweatshirts. Come on.
And layers.
I love it.
And boots and like everything about winter. I love little winter hats, like with the pom-poms on top and like with the flappy ears. It's like, and gloves. I mean, I could like go on and on and on. And I don't understand these people who love summer. I don't understand them. I love the summer. It's so hot. I'm like, it's hot. You're sweaty. It's uncomfortable. And again,
I don't know about you, Ninoska, but I do. If I need the sun, if there's no sun for a little while, my mood starts to go down. Yeah. But
no, so that doesn't bother me, but I know what you're talking about. That doesn't bother me as much. I get that. So I like spring, fall. It's cold enough.
Yeah.
And you still have some sun. So that'll be the compromise. And what is your favorite city that you've ever lived in?
Lived in?
Okay, let's go visited. We can do visit. You can choose visit or lived.
Okay. So I haven't lived too many places. Columbia, we've got Riverdale, we've got Teaneck and Chashmonaim. That's it.
And for your year, where were you?
Jerusalem. Not a city girl. I'm definitely not a city girl. No.
Well, with your chickens and your hat, I believe that.
Yeah. This is even, Chashmonaim is even a little bit too, I need to go somewhere. I need a little bit more.
See,
but
I'm the opposite. Hashimonaim is too like country for me. I'm like
country, you see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I originally I thought it was okay. You know, I thought it would be, I mean, I love it here, my God,
Yeah.
but I realized that, you know, a moshav would have been great just based on my personality, and I would have gotten, you know, some more animals. And
Rhonda, you're a hilltop hootenanny.
well, I'm such a redneck. It's not even.
You are a hilltop hootenanny.
I know. You got it. You know, you gotta. It's a character. I don't even know. I laugh at myself.
No, it definitely is. Like I have one child who's definitely like, I'm like, I say to her, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to come and visit you on some hilltop someplace, you know, some random place in the middle of nowhere.
And believe me, you'll enjoy taking a break from the city, going
no. We on our pilot trip, we stayed for a month in Javier, which is a nice place, gorgeous, beautiful, at my in-laws. And when we first made Aliyah, we were there for a month. I was ready to like go crazy. Crazy.
Mountains around. There's nothing around.
There's not. It's like, it's beautiful. It's like it's a nice city. It's gorgeous. You know, I could never live there, but you know, I mean, but
you need a little noise. You need action. You need your eyes.
I need noise. I need people. I need to be able to like. I don't
probably.
Huh?
The convenience of having things open, maybe.
Convenience, absolutely. I like just seeing people. I think that's what I miss most of all about this the corona for me. Is not being around people and seeing people.
Yes.
I need my quiet when I need my quiet, but I enjoy seeing people, and so that's what's hard for me.
Yeah, okay. I know that about you. Yeah, you're a great people person. I don't know. And look what you're doing. You're reaching out to so many people with this.
I'm loving it. It's just,
it's
been great for me. And I feel like there's so many amazing people in my world, and I want everyone to know you guys too, because it's like, you know, and I love hearing other people's stories. And I think that people like hearing your story. Like they're going to be shocked that, you know, chickens.
Got to be relatable to somebody,
right? You know, you're a chicken farmer.
Yeah.
Love that. I love that. So I'm going to ask you, or I'll wrap it up for you because I've kept your whole family off of Wi-Fi for too long. You have to be honest with the answer.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And if you want to give yourself the discount of just saying it has to be someone that's not my family, so that you don't pick anyone in your family, I'll allow that. But who's your favorite person in the world?
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's the kind of question you got to give somebody a little bit of a heads up.
You can think about it for a while. Okay, so while you're thinking about that, let me give you one that is completely in the other direction. And then
also, and I want to hear other people's answers. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
How does rain work?
How does what work?
Rain.
How does rain work?
Explain rain. How does rain work?
Oh,
you don't have to be right. You just have to tell us how you think that rain works.
Don't you know? Rain like pulls out it goes over the ocean, and it like pulls up the water, and then it like stays up there somehow. And then eventually when the wind gets and gets, you know, the right velocity and stuff comes, there's this weather pattern that comes, and it's like, that's it. It can't stay there anymore. I imagine that's what happens, I think. Yeah. That's it. I'm going to look it up right now. I can't deal with it.
That's how it works. Look, you got the basics right. You got the mechanics pretty much right.
You know, do you really know?
I read up on it. I read it once a while ago.
Did I get a little bit right? Did I get a pass?
It's like one of those things that unless you're like a meteorologist to be able to explain it exactly, we all in our heads pretty much understand the mechanics of it. But yeah, it's like the moisture evaporates up into the cloud. It condenses, it sits there, and it's like gathers together the molecules and whatever, bounce around until the right condition, the temperature or whatever.
Yay!
So it's pretty much about the same, but it's like one of those things that everybody knows rain, and you're like, oh, how does rain actually work? Like,
wow, good.
You learned it in 4th grade, I think. We all, and about, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that, 2 or 3 years ago, one of my kids, my younger one, he was like, oh, how does rain? And I was like, and I explained pretty much like how you did. And I'm like, I think let's look it up after Shabbos.
That's the biggest night. Like, I'm so happy you brought it up, because it's something that my granddaughter would for sure ask me as we're walking in the rain.
Yes,
for sure. So
thank you. Yes. So anyway,
who's my favorite person? I'm assuming that's
if you cannot find one, we will let you out of it, and we will say you'll get back to us. You'll post it in the comments on the thing.
Yeah. There's one of them. I'm going to rewrite my own question, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to say one of my favorite people.
Okay.
Is, a woman named Mae Gaskin, and she has written books that I very much love to follow her shita of how a woman can take charge of her body and be connected to her body and birth. And she started she lived on a commune and a community, really. Mm-hmm. And they needed women to help, deliver the women who lived there with them, each other. And sure enough, she started just being the doula and turned into the midwife, and then ended up if she had to transfer these women to a hospital for some reason, mm-hmm. She ended up developing a good relationship with the doctor there, and just and wrote books. Mae Gaskin just
wow.
She's a wonderful woman, and if anybody has connected with natural birth, they have come across her books, so one of my heroes.
Wow, that is really, really beautiful. And I love that. I love it very, very much.
Thank
you.
So
that is a beautiful way.
Would it be fair if I ask you yours?
My favorite person?
Yeah.
Oh.
One of them.
One of them. Okay. So maybe we'll rewrite the question eventually. I'll rewrite it for everyone. But one of my favorite people, well, not including my family.
Yeah. Who pops in your head?
Well, there are two things that pop into my head right now.
Yeah.
Gosh, several of them. Oh, it's so tricky. It's a tough question. I don't like being on the other side of this. But I think
that's the punishment of having of coming up with that question.
I know. So look, the first person that honestly popped into my head, and I'm such a nerd, and people do not know this about me.
No judgment.
Gene Roddenberry. He's the creator of Star Trek.
Let's hear.
I'm such a Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek so much. It's not normal. Just because the way that he created this future, and
wow,
it's a very optimistic future. It's a future about what we can become as people when we put aside all the shtuyot and all of the bad things that we do, and we focus on humanity and what needs to be done and what we all just really need, not necessarily what we want, and the type of future we could possibly have. And I just love Star Trek because of that.
I got chills.
Well, and I'm to ask any Star Trek nerd, and that'll tell you.
Well, and I'm looking for a new series, so I'm yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to instruct you to go and watch Star Trek Discovery, which is the most latest version of it, and then go back and watch the the 3 new movies that were done with Chris Pine. And your tutorial continues. You're not done yet. And then you have to go back and watch. I'll give you like more and more and more.
I made an assumption that you were talking about the books, but you're actually...
I'm talking about the books, the series, everything. Like I read the books also. The books are written. Okay, again, I'm such a nerd. It's so embarrassing.
Okay, so you would have picked library.
No, I'm going to tell you, the books are written. There are rules for the stories that they have to be written in a format. Did I lose you? Oh, yeah. The books have to be written in a format that they do not contradict the timeline of the shows in any way, shape, or form. So they are actually quite really, really, really good books. I have a whole bunch of them because I had a friend who also years and years ago, he was embarrassed that he would buy the books, read them. He couldn't keep them in his house. He was this crazy programmer. He's like, I can't have these books on my shelf. And so he would pass them along to us. And we were all like, okay, we'd like read the Star Trek books. But yeah, no. So books.
You pick up on the essence of it from watching the movies? Like you gave me a hint of what the big adult, what the
that's it, big adult. That's from the shows, the movie, everything. That's like really what it's like about. And I recently was watching a documentary by someone on human nature. They were talking about human nature. It was like some science documentary, and about gene DNA. There's a whole thing about DNA. So they had all of these experts from all over the world in different phases of DNA and engineering for new babies. Like, should we do it? The ethical, things about it. And here's this like really like super smart woman who's like testifying before Congress, and all of her credentials are there. She's the scientist, blah, blah, blah. And I'm enjoying the documentary, nerd. And then out of left field, she's like, and it reminds me of like in Star Trek, which I'm a big fan. She like goes in, I'm like, I love you.
Yeah, you were, oh, wow.
It was like a redeeming thing. This just happened last week.
Every quirky thing has a fan club, Ninoska. You know that? Come on.
It does. But you know what?
You're never alone.
We laugh about the Star Trek people, like they live in their basement and they're like, they live in their mom's basements and stuff like that. But I'm the Star Trek nerd of the Big Bang Theory, like type of like nerd, of highly functioning. I'm a highly functioning nerd.
I'll do it because it holds true to my heart when it's the first movie that I ever saw, and I was with my dad, and like the line, I remember me and my brother, we were very young, and he took us to a movie, and my dad's not around him anymore, and I'll never forget it. I actually remember it. We were young, but I remember it, and completely forgot about like that it's a series, that it's meaningful to me as well.
It's like a whole thing about using science for good and getting past the wars and the hunger and the money and like all of this stuff, and really about what we can be if we do good things and respect one another and all of our differences and things like that. And it's just about, getting past our differences and what the world can be when we forget about money and we use science for good things and we respect everyone's who they are, different cultures. It's all about, it's not about making everyone the same. It's about recognizing each individual person's identity and beliefs and everything, and cohabitating in
how appropriate,
in a perfect, in a good future. Yeah. So that's it. So big Star Trek fan. It's my happy place. So yeah, Gene Roddenberry.
What? All right.
And then my other person was right now Lin-Manuel Miranda, because I always love him.
Of course.
I've loved him forever, even when he was like on different shows and before.
Oh my gosh,
in the Heights and how,
genius, Eloy. What
he is. Wow, he is. And he just makes me happy.
Good call, babe. Good call.
So those are my 2 favorite people right now.
Good
besides
call.
my family.
Good call.
So that's them. So
anyway, have you seen My Octopus Teacher, the documentary? No? My Octopus Teacher. Write that one down.
I saw the trailer for it, and I think it's on my wish list, on my list.
Put it to the top.
Host teacher. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna watch it.
Put it to the top.
I'll watch it.
Okay.
Watch it. That's my sort of stuff to watch. So anyway, this has been amazing. It is fantastic talking to you and learning these little, like, you know, tidbits about your life and what you do. And you know, thank you for just, you know, being you. You're a fantastic person.
Thank you, Scott.
Keep helping bring these babies into the world with your positive energy and stuff. And good luck with the chickens and the eggs. And we're going to do a field trip. Once post-corona, I'm bringing my daughter to visit the chickens. And I cannot...
Post-lockdown. You don't have to wait for corona to be over. Post-lockdown, just come.
And I look forward to us being able to get back on the great white way of theater and perform and put our shows on again, because you're super talented, and it's a joy to perform with you, and I can't wait for that to happen again. So
maybe one day I'll play a woman.
I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yalla, have a good night.
It's harder for a woman to play a man, by the way. So it just shows.
I love it. I love everything.
Yeah.
I trust the directorial leadership in women in theater, whatever.
You're in good hands. All right, my dear.
Good night. Thank you
so much. Have a great night, and I can't wait to see you in real life, human person. Before you leave, be sure to hit the red subscribe button.